Let's look at 5 bold Vikings free agent predictions. All right, welcome back to the Onebar and Lupagus show. I'm Onebar with Lupagus. Free agency right around the corner. Tampering on next Monday. Free agency starts next Wednesday. We're looking at 5 bold predictions for the Vikings in free agency.
Yeah, we're going to be very, very bold right now. And if you want a bold, delicious beverage, grab yourself a Lift Bridge brew, either from your liquor store near you or go to the facility in Stillwater. Also, be bold and hit that subscribe button, for God's sakes.
Yeah, hit that sub. Let's get 10K. We're going to be live tonight, 7 o'clock Central Time. Join us. A lot to talk about. Free agency, draft, all sorts of fun stuff. And you know what? Put a bold prediction down in the comments. Let's see what you're bold. Remember, bold. Yeah. Let's start off with our first bold prediction. You ready?
I'm ready. Are you ready?
Garrett Bradbury does not re-sign with the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, I'm going to start on this one if you're okay with that. I just, after the season, we were all on the Bradbury coming back train. But you look at what's out there in free agency, what's out there in the draft. This is actually a pretty deep center draft. I think you can find a guy even round 3, 4, maybe even round 5 that you can plug in and get pretty much the same play you've been getting with Garrett Bradbury the majority of his career. Yeah, he was better last year, but Kirk Cousins is used to having pressure come up the middle. So maybe you use a 5th-round draft pick on the center, let him start. I think you can actually do that this year and put money elsewhere. I don't think you have to reinvest in Garrett Bradbury. I have flipped the script on that. I'm 100% on the other side of this now.
Yeah, and this might not be, it's bold, but our starting center, just having them go bye-bye. But yeah, it all comes down to the draft. There is 5 guys, Whippler, Avila, Tittman, Schmitz, Stromberg. I mean, all these guys can come in. And while Bradbury played better, glad to see it. He's out of what? You raising your hand?
How dare you forget Juice Scruggs?
Juice Scruggs, absolutely. Patterson from Notre Dame. There's plenty of options out there that they could come in, be much cheaper, much, much, much cheaper. And you know what? If we whiff and we don't get any centers, we'll go to free agency and see who's left. It'll probably be Bradbury anyways sitting there. So we'll have plenty of options without taking a big step back. My guess is whatever happens, we take a step forward.
The other thing, too, let's not forget how bad Bradbury was, his first 4 years in the league. He wasn't very good. It's not like you're going to be replacing this great level of play with a young guy. I don't think the drop-off would be that great.
Sometimes, you know what? You don't know what you got till it's gone. We could be eating our words next March.
We've been there before.
All right, next bold prediction we got. Vikings make splashy cornerback signing. Not to go sign, some Bob Jones from down the street. Splashy. Cornerback 1.
Yeah, it's your turn. You start. I like how you let the mystery guy there.
Yeah, I did this for a couple. Mystery man there. So we're gonna make a splashy signing. We always do. Salary cap. Oh, we don't got any space. Blah 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 blah. We're gonna bring in a corner. We have to bring in a corner, and he's gonna be where all the money goes. Whether that's a Cam Sutton, Byron Murphy. I mean, there's some very big names out there, and they're going to put their money right there. You cannot go into the season next year with Booth, Caleb Evans, Cam Dantzler, guys like that. You need that CB1, and they're going to blow their load and get that corner.
Yeah, let's not just assume because the Vikings are strapped right now, they're not going to spend money. They always find ways. Darius Smith last year, Delvin Tomlinson the year before. They'll bring in someone you're like, holy shit, I don't think we're going to be able to afford him. It always happens.
Harry last year.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to happen.
Yeah, and I can't wait. I hope it's Cam Sutton. So much.
That would be fine with a lot of guys.
It's going to be horrible when the tampering starts on Monday, and all of a sudden you see, Cam Sutton's meeting with the Jaguars or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Wah, wah. All right, next bold prediction. Another mystery man. Vikings sign only 1 offensive player pre-draft.
Yeah, I noticed I'm a little more strong in this one than you are, but it's not that out of the question. I mean, look at what they have other needs. So many on defense. Well, they need an offense, maybe, a center, a wide receiver too. You could probably find that in the draft. You could potentially find the center in the draft. I feel like the needs on the offensive side of the ball you can address in the draft. And everything else, the money should be thrown at defense. The defense is horrible. The defense has a lot of holes. The defense is why we lost in round 1 of the playoffs. It wasn't because of the offense. So I think the one offensive player, maybe it's a backup quarterback, but I wouldn't be shocked if this actually happened. And then maybe you look at the draft and then post draft for some signings. But the big initial period, one offensive player signed in free agency.
Yeah, the only reason I'm not overly buying, I know it's bold, so we got to put it out there, but I mean, we got Schlotman, we got Bradbury, both free agents. Oli Udo's a free agent, Irv Smith, and the backup quarterback, not even mentioning that. So I don't think it's more like a sexy signing, but I think we need to make more than one because our depth is gone. But hey, maybe they wait till after the draft, see what they get. I mean, they don't have many draft picks either. Maybe they wait till afterwards, fill in that depth with just the poopy pieces that are left.
Poopy pieces. Yeah, but they can acquire more draft picks. And, when did we actually get a backup quarterback last year? I feel like it was very, very late. I know we had some young guys, but I mean, to have that true backup, we realized Kellen Mond was ass. Didn't really make a move until almost the season started.
Yeah. I would like them to focus on defense and just fill in at the end. We will see. We will see.
Pieces.
Well, speaking of, let's go this where Oli Udo returns. He returns the crazy signing that nobody expects.
Well, and why? Well, when he got put at right tackle, he was actually pretty damn good. He was more than serviceable when he had thrust into duty. Maybe it just took this new coaching staff to find the right spot for Oli Udo. We tried him at left tackle, we tried him at guard, both train wrecks. Goes to right tackle, plays pretty well. We need somebody. We need somebody, whether it's a rookie or a different free agent, who can come in and be that swing lineman. And Oli Udo can be that. And if it's right tackle where he backs up, that's okay.
This might be the boldest one out of the bunch because he's still only 26 years old. Those last 3 games where he filled in with Brian O'Neill at right tackle, he looked absolutely wonderful. It's like, oh shit, why didn't we just have him there the whole time as a backup right tackle opposed to messing with guard? But he can make some money. We all know how much teams need right tackles out there in the league, and they're willing to overpay for a 26-year-old. But if Oli Udo's out there and he's not feeling it, maybe he says, you know what, I'm still young. I'm 26. I'm going to come back on a 1-year deal, add some beautiful depth for the Vikings, and try again next year.
Can I do a flip side bold prediction to this one?
Yes.
Oli Udo's going to get an insane contract from somebody.
Yeah, way too much. But if it doesn't happen, he's coming back to Minnesota. We need that depth. Him, Blake Brandel, put in Loeb as far as that depth goes. Let's go, baby.
Oh. Boom.
This is like wishful. I never would have thought I would want Oli Udo back as much as I do.
Yeah, it's shocking. He was horrible for so long.
Well, you know who's not coming back?
Who's that?
It's Greg Joseph. He's gonzo.
No, look, there's Gonzo. Yeah, you can go ahead and start on this one.
I mean, where do you start? So Greg Joseph, here we go. He made $2.5 million last year. That puts him right in the middle as far as what kickers were paid. He did not perform as a guy that is in the middle. He performed as a guy at the very, very bottom. So Greg Joseph, he is not a middle of the road guy. He's not worth the 2.5. Take that, put it elsewhere. Matt Prater, Robbie Gould, Matt Gay, whoever. If you don't get someone in the draft, you don't get somebody post-draft, sign somebody in July. They're going to be better.
There's a couple of former Vikings sitting out there too. Riley Patterson, Chase McLaughlin. They all kicked better than Greg Joseph. He wasn't good. He was horrible. It's not hard to find a kicker who can kick more, who can make more than 77% of their field goals. I mean, this is not a tough option to replace. It's just, they can go with an old guy, a crusty veteran who's, in the twilight of his career, Robbie Gould, a Prater, look for a young guy, or even draft a guy. I just don't think there's any reason to invest money in Greg Joseph. But why is this kind of even a question? Because as bad as he was, you think of that 61-yard field goal he hit to beat the Giants. You think of the Saints game in London where he hit like 5 or 6 kicks.
Oh, he had some very good moments.
He had moments. And I think it's those peak moments people remember. And I think even, Kevin O'Connell backed him up a lot longer than he should have. The fact he didn't bring anybody in was a little bit concerning, even just to sign on the practice squad. But I think with what's out there, you can find something better and find something cheaper too.
I gotta say, I kind of weirdly like the fact that Kevin O'Connell stuck with him the whole time. I mean, he had some ups, he clearly had some downs, but he was his guy and he let him ride it out. That ride is over. He is off the horsey, and now he can look elsewhere. But let's just look at Gonzo one more time. Was there a better Muppet than Gonzo?
I don't think so. He was so off the rails. He was fantastic.
The Fozzie Bear, he was good.
Yeah, his jokes are bad though.
They were bad. Let us know in the comments if there's a better Muppet than Gonzo.
Yes, and also let us know what you think of our bold predictions. Do you have something that's even more bold? And also, remember this bold fact. The G-spot was almost called the Whipple Tickle.
Whipple